So I told the story about you in the initial podcast around how you were in a place that you needed some new inspiration. And by the way, I'm not in real estate. I don't have a real estate license anymore. I mean, I sold real estate for many years, was an operating principal in a franchise, coached a lot of top real estate teams, and then decided both of us were selling real estate. We didn't really both need to have all the expense of a license, and I would continue to coach, do some marketing staging. Tom really works on the real estate side of the business legally now, and I support him. Well, meaning I don't sell real estate because I don't have a license. You are licensed to sell real estate, negotiate differently, but still very involved. But there was. I want you to talk a little bit more because it's really your personal story around that time where you were like, what am I doing? Like, why am I doing real estate, or what am I doing with real estate? So I'd like you to tell that story from your point of view. Because people might not have listened to that episode, and anyway, it's just a great story.
You should go back and listen to it.
Yeah, but here's your rendition. We'll see if I got it right.
What's the term we use? Make sure you like, subscribe.
Oh yeah, you like, subscribe, and share, and download the podcast.
I'm sure you're going to want to do that. Anyways,
all the episodes.
I like many people, male and female. You have an underlying purpose. Sometimes it's not even stated. And then you run to the end of it, and it's surprising. Mine was Sandy and I both brought 2 daughters into our relationship, and we're committed to getting them out on their own feet. Well-schooled, if that's the way they chose to go. Supported in one way or another.
Because we won't be around forever.
That's right.
It's inevitable.
We put our youngest daughter through school. She graduated. She was out, in the industry of her choice. And all of a sudden, I didn't feel like getting out of bed. I don't.
Tom's like a guy who gets up at like you were up like at 5 o'clock or something.
That's pretty typical.
Or early.
I've got a clock that just goes off inside, and I'm done sleeping. It's time to get up. But I was not getting up. In fact, Sandy came in one day at 7 o'clock and said, "Are you sick?" I said, "No, why?" She goes, "What? You're sleeping in." I said, "Yeah, I know." It's like I had this malaise come over me and felt almost depressed.
It wasn't a criticism. It was an observation, like awareness of what's going on. Right?
And so I started talking to people and looking into things and going, I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing now. I mean, I have a successful business. I'm influencing people. I'm trying to help the people who work on my team to excel, influence on other people. I was doing training for new realtors, but I was stumbling. And finally, I sat down with somebody, a wise person, and they said, "Tom, you ran out of your big why." I said, "What do you mean?" So your big why for years has been get your daughters educated and out, standing on their own, making a life of their own. And now you're done. You need a new big why. So it set me on a new quest, and I went to several different trainings and classes. And
you'd experienced great purpose in your life, right? In all these other things we've talked about.
But it kind of tailed off. And I couldn't figure out why. I couldn't figure out, so what am I supposed to do next? And I know a lot of people run into that. And if they don't consider, their big why, which is, again, part of my moral, ethical, mental operating system, I always do this because it's kind of running back here all the time.
But I think it's part of all, my personal belief is we're all designed to have a purpose.
Yes.
And we all have a place in us that keeps us going if we have a purpose.
Exactly.
And a big why could be for your whole life you wanted to make sure that there was never going to be somebody hungry, right? But a big why could also be more of a seasonal thing. Like as a young mom, my big why was centered around my kids, like taking care of my kids, or my family, or, and for others, it might be something in their community. Like it can change.
Yeah, and your kids all of a sudden are in school.
Yeah.
And you have time, and you go, wow, I can finally relax.
But there's usually a theme. Like I realized mine is I want to love well by doing good. Like if I look at every aspect of my life, that I did not articulate it that way, but that is the who I am in the world, that I have a desire to do that in whatever I'm doing, whether it's for profit, nonprofit, just life, And so, you've had that too, but here you are running out of the season of that piece around, making sure our daughters were capable of living their lives. And so this person said that. So you went to these trainings and, what happened?
So I was just constantly looking into things, couldn't find anything that was really me. And then one night I got up in the middle of the night to go to the bathroom and get a drink. I don't need to turn on the lights. I know where everything is. It's this many steps to here. Make a right, go, and I knew where I kept the cup by the sink. And I ran the faucet, got a drink of water, and I heard clear as a bell this question: why didn't you look at the water? I thought, what a peculiar question. Why would I look at the water? I know what water looks like. And, but it kicked in that logical side of my brain, which is the end of my sleep. So I went back to bed about 3 o'clock in the morning, and I laid there. Water. What's up with water? Why would I look at the water? Why? Whose voice was that? Was that mine? Anyway, so I got up out of bed and I Googled water, and how you can chase things that are linked to various other things, and this is mentioned.
Going down the rabbit hole.
Right. Well, this was a rabbit trail that led me to a discovery that day. Discovery for me, that at that point there was just under 1 billion people on the planet Earth who didn't have access to clean water. And I went, how could that possibly?
And you never, you would care about it, but it was never like a thing, right? So
I had no idea of the magnitude. I didn't realize worldwide there are people in that situation. So I spent the next couple months digging into it, and it made me really angry. In fact, I was in a time of prayer, and I was complaining to God, how can this possibly be? How can we be so stingy? Or how can I have 9 faucets in my house of various kinds, even including the faucet on the outside of the house, you hook a hose to. Or I can put my face on any one of them and drink it and not be concerned about disease or lack or being attacked by animals. And why don't other people have that? And so why doesn't somebody do something?
Don't ask that question. Here's the answer.
So I felt God nudge me in my heart and said, why don't you do something? I went, oh.
And then you go, what can I do?
Yeah.
Right? Like 1 billion people, how can I make any kind of impact?
And all over the world in various countries that I'd never been to. And what am I supposed to do with that? So I started looking into what would it take for somebody to get involved. And we hooked up with a water development company. I think they're just doing extraordinary work. It's called Charity Water. And I really enjoyed what they were doing, because they would raise money to provide clean water for people in third world countries, either by digging wells or diverting water out of the mountains or reclamation projects or whatever. And they would also have a separate fundraising arm that would cover all the administrative work. So I knew that when we gave to them,
it went all towards the people who needed water.
We worked with them for a number of years and were able to dig lots of wells to serve a lot of people. And just a quick description, I'm talking about when people live in a village or a town and there's no running water. What's that mean? There's no good sanitation. There's health issues. I wondered in some countries, why do people have so many children when they're so poor? Didn't realize that they knew that a large percentage of their kids were not going to become adults. They were going to die of waterborne diseases.
I can't just even imagine. I just can't imagine. No. But anyway.
Yeah. So I broke my heart as well, and I thought that we got to fix this. So we've been part of that, and we're working with a couple of different organizations now.
Living Water.
Living Water out of Houston, who also, they do a lot of education, because you can't just provide water without helping somebody change their mindset.
And don't they have a model that they actually involve the people in the community in
Yes.
not only education, but in running the business profitably?
Right.
Like, so that the whole area, village, or city, or whatever can benefit.
Well, and they can hire then technician or mechanics
To keep it going.
so that if the mechanical part of the well breaks, they know how to repair it. Unfortunately, all over, especially the continent of Africa, which is massive, there's thousands of dead wells because people with
There wasn't a plan to,
right.
Yeah.
There was no follow up, like
Right.
no maintenance.
Right.
So they have a well and it works for a while, but we also needed education so that people weren't using dirty pots to go get clean water and then pollute the water. We'd hear stories that are generally not published, but we were working with some people in the Nile, along the Nile River, and they said this has become such a crucial issue because the crocodile population has become so aggressive and big that people are going down to get water out of the river and not coming back. And I'm thinking, there's not one time in my whole life I ever had to yell at my kids, I said, give me a drink of water, but look out for the crocodiles in the kitchen. It's like...
And you don't live in Florida
No, I don't.
Or you might, but
No.
I mean, not because they went for water, it's just because there are so many. But
So anyways, we have dedicated a portion of our income from our income, not from our clients' portion, and so that we can help do that. So it became my big why personally, and it's part of my bigger big why of transformation. But it gets me out of bed in the morning, because sometimes real estate's really dry. We've sold a lot of houses over the years. I think our team and us have closed over 1,100 homes. So you go, okay, another house, another client. But when I wake up in the morning and swing my legs over, I tend to rub my feet on the floor. It's just kind of a visceral reminder. Okay, today I get to go sell houses so I can save lives. And because we're going to make money and we're going to save lives and we're going to extend the life of people and we're going to change the culture in the town when they can go to a block down to the well rather than walking 2 hours to share polluted water with animals.
And it's not even just other countries. Like, in the discovery process, we live in Colorado. And what do we discover in not only the United States, but our own state?
Well, within 500 miles of where we are in Denver, outside of Denver, there's the largest...
Navajo Nation.
Yeah, it's the largest reservation for the original Americans. And there's thousands and thousands of people there without running water.
So no indoor plumbing.
Right. They even live in a house that has
Plumbing, but no water to it.
No source. So they have to buy water. They have to have it trucked in, or they have to go somewhere. And it's like, wait a minute, this is
America.
This is a day's drive.
Right, a day's drive, right.
How can this possibly be? So we hooked up with another company called Dig Deep, and they work primarily in the Navajo Nation, but also now in Appalachia, for mountain folks who don't, and actually in an area in northern Texas too, that has been a community for many years with no water source. So it was a slap in the face.
And I think it's really interesting. It's not like we were talking before about, like, you go through an experience, so then you have purpose. It's not like we've ever had a lack of clean water or a lack of water. So it's always been interesting to me why you got up in the middle of the night and you just heard that, look at the water, because that feels very supernatural, actually.
It's very ethereal, otherworldly.
But I think, like, it's a good example of, like, are you listening? Like, are we listening? Because maybe there's just some unique thing that is part of our life and our purpose that we're called to do, and we're going to benefit from it because of the inspiration it provides and motivation for us as human beings, and also then how we can help other people. But then there's like that comes full circle, that it keeps us going. You know, like Tom and I, if you can't tell, are the age where our age categories, lots of people are stopping working or stopping working, you know, for money. We call it retirement. We don't believe in it. We believe in refirement, because we see so many people who stop working and even stop having purpose, and they start to decline physically
very quickly.
You know, in terms of their health and their vitality and just their energy. And in fact, I was just we do transformational work for men and women on transformational weekends called the Crucible Project, and we're able to staff those weekends so that people that have wounding or trauma in some way can, you know, find help with that, find a way through, you know, find healing, find help, find community. And it's exhausting. I will be celebrating my 70th birthday this year. And
she sure doesn't look 70, does she?
No. But one of the women said to me, I cannot believe that is your age, because you don't act like it and you are staying up later than anybody. And I think that's what purpose does for you.
It does.
You know, I think that's what energy and purpose and cause and meaning and destiny does for us as people. And I just think, yeah, you know, I might have some aches and pains or slow down, although not really comparatively. But my doctor just recently said, your back is in incredible shape, and I have 25 and 30-year-olds who aren't as healthy as you. So I think that this message about loving well by doing good isn't just about making money. It really is about being alive and as healthy and as vibrant and as purposeful, which helps everybody else, but also helps me. Also helps
That's
you,
it does.
Right? And
well,
so
it can't not. It's the law of reciprocity. It's the law of sowing and reaping. There's lots of different, you know, names for it. And when we see that our gift and our stuff and our access and our talents and our skills and our experience are not just for us, it brightens up, opens up a much bigger world. In fact, as much as I appreciate individuals and companies giving money to something, when it's expressed out of who they are, their purpose, it changes life.
It's just not an extra. Like so many are like, oh yeah, I do that. Like I do that in addition. And what we're saying is, no, this ought to be the focus. Like love well by doing good. If that is the first thing, and everything else then trickles down from that, that's where the difference is made, not only in profit, but I think in terms of the all-encompassing community that can be built, the energy of people, the love between people in the organization that trickles then out to the world. Like it's way bigger than just making money or just being profitable because of it.
Well, it is. You remember in our marketing stuff, the whole idea of us supporting water discovery and water development and delivery was kind of a sub note. I was a little embarrassed, to be honest. I thought, I don't want to be that guy, You
didn't want to feel manipulative. Like, we do water, so you should work with us.
But a big coach at the brokerage we were at, it's a worldwide brokerage. We met at a conference, and we knew each other. And she was interviewing me. She goes, "I was on your website." I said, "Okay." I said, "You were on my website?" She said, "Where's your water? Where's the mention of all your stuff you're doing with water?" I said, blah, blah, blah. I was embarrassed. And she goes, "How dare you?" I thought, what? How dare I?
Good coaches can go where people want to hide.
That's right. And she goes, "How dare you hold that back from people and not allow them to participate?" I went, "Oh, is that what I'm doing?" So I went back and we changed our book that we give, to clients. And there's a whole page early on that says, if you choose to work with us, out of our receipts, our end of things, we will do this. And people all of a sudden went, wait a minute, don't turn the page. And we had people choose us many times out of other people that they interviewed because they went, I want to be a part of that.
And people do. In fact, I had a gentleman who coaches a lot of business people say to me recently, because he is one of the coaches in my life who is encouraging me to talk about this more and help organizations and companies do this. And he said, Sandy, I actually boycott organizations that do not match my values. So I am looking for companies that have this social consciousness around things I believe in and things that are doing good things in the world, not just as an add-on, but is really their purpose for them doing business in the first place. And that was like really inspiring to me because I hadn't talked to him about it. And then here he is. He's like, and he gave me a whole list of companies. He's like, I won't go here and I won't go here and I won't go here, but I'll go here and I'll go in here and I'll go. And before I order anything online, I'm going to the company and I'm trying to find out what that company is about, not just the products that they're selling and the reputation around like the reviews, but who are they? What's their culture like? What are they contributing to in the world? And I'm like, and he said, and I see it more and more and more. And so that really inspired me to say, I got to tell people about this and I've got to help them do it, right? I've got to help these organizations and companies know how to do it because there is a strategy and it's really super easy. There's nothing hard about it and anybody can do it. But it was a big motivation for me that day to go, okay, we really need to help companies and people and organizations learn how to love well by doing good, look at purpose and how to infuse purpose first in what they do as the driver, not just for the money though, because for like we talk about this,
like the motivation to get up out of bed and go do something useful,
right?
Not for just myself, but for somebody else.
And we coach, Tom and I both coach small business owners, and the number one reason business owners get out of businesses, they get tired. And they get unmotivated and
they're overwhelmed with just the stuff of grinding through the day.
And they're like, why am I even doing this? And
some of them employee in their own company.
Or some of them are making lots of money.
Right.
But like it starts to become meaningless. So what do? They sell their business. And of course, now they're bored. So now they got to start another business instead of learning how to have their business continue to run and be a financial asset for them. And then, maybe somebody else can even run the business and they can go off and do something else that's exciting. But I think the whole idea, the whole reason I brought that up is because I think purpose can be the long-term motivator.
Oh, I absolutely agree. Yeah. It's funny. You're talking about motivation and purpose and inspiration. I remember, you all remember this story too. One of the guys on our team, had a client who was an attorney, and he was known to be a shark. He was a professional sports negotiator for his clients. And that's the big sports area, but he was basically a mean-spirited person. And our team member helped him purchase an investment property. And at closing, at that point in time, we were given certificates to people saying out of...
He was an attorney, right?
Yes, he's an attorney.
Yeah.
And feared by a lot of people. Anyways, the certificate would say your purchase or your sale helped us provide this many people. There was an equation that we ran very simply that provided this many people with clean water for the rest of their lives.
And so you saved this many lives kind of thing. Right.
And he got a hold of that, stared at it, and looked at our teammate, stared at it again, and stood up and walked out. The closing was at his office. She had other people in various offices, and he was walking up and down the office going, "Look at this! I did something good." Wait, but what? Maybe it was the first time he was able to crow about and brag about doing something beneficial for somebody else. We just thought, that's a keeper.
Yeah, that's really good. So, maybe we'll do another episode. We've gone a long time on this one. Maybe we'll have to split it in 2 parts. Although I personally like long form podcasts because I have lots of driving to do. So I like it when they're an hour or 2 sometimes. But so for somebody listening, like, where do you start? Like, where would you start if you decide I really want to start aligning what I do? And, we focus on small business owners, but I think people in organizations that volunteer for an organization or even work in an organization could be an influencer to this too. So let's just talk to the small business owner or the business owner first, or the leader of it, even a nonprofit or organization. I mean, you'd think a nonprofit would automatically do this, but not always, right? They don't always have a purpose just beyond themselves. They don't always have a purpose that's even like how can I even help people beyond mine? So where do you think you should start?
This might sound weird, but I'd say be quiet. I mean, it took the dead of night and the quiet for me to listen. Because I was scrambling around and spending money going to conferences and seminars about, the big why and the purpose and reading books. And it took just a quiet moment to hear. Because I think that we believe in God. We believe that there's a real live God. And he has a purpose for each one of us. And he's not afraid to talk. We just don't listen.
We're pretty busy, noisy. Yeah. So it's the still small voice, right?
Exactly.
Like, where's the still small voice in us? So I think nature is really important. I really, Sylvia's like right now in our busy, bombarded with information lives, like just go outside every day for a few minutes and just get quiet, bundle up.
Put the phone away, leave the phone somewhere else. Yeah. It's interesting. There's even, a lot of scientific studies. People can go outside. It's much better than being stuck inside. Just go for a quick walk or just go out and sit with the sun on your face. But even better, go walk in a place where there's trees. And there's a different level of rejuvenation, and it stirs something deep in us, our soul and our spirit. Anyways, that start there. But what do you already have passion about? What do you see? Look at your life and go, what's kind of been the golden thread that's run through my life?
Or you just said, what are you angry about? Like, what injustice do you see in the world? And just every time you see it, you get just totally pissed off. Like, that's a good indicator that maybe you're somebody who ought to do something about it, right?
I personally would stay away from political media driven stuff because that'll just make you angry all the time about everything.
Well, like if you see like something for kids or for older people or just something that you're like, this makes me so angry that nobody seems to be doing. Like, I talk about Lyme disease a lot because we have a daughter who has chronic Lyme disease, and I get so angry about, the lack of diagnosis, the medical community not really the majority, like the mainstream medical community, not really understanding it, and I realize, and honestly, I don't want to do anything about it, because it's so much a part of my life. I'm like, do I want this to be more a part of my life? But I have to, because it's there all the time. And there is such a need for families who support somebody who has Lyme disease, the people who have it themselves, the community being educated, like all of that. So I'm like, all right, what can I do? And it feels overwhelming to me. It feels like water did to you. It feels like it is such a giant mess of a thing. Like, how can I possibly make a difference? But I'm just doing my drop in the bucket. And so what is it that's in your face? What is it in your life, in your family, somebody you care about, something you care about, something in your community, and you just find that place in you that rises up and says, I got to do something about this, or somebody should do something about it. Well, that's a really good indication that you should do something about it.
It is.
You could do something.
It doesn't have to be worldwide. It can be right in your back. In fact, your big why can be, I'm going to be the best parent, best grandparent ever in the world.
And that's a life. I mean, the greatest big why you can't ever check off.
Right. Because, now, just telling you in 12 years since I got inspired about water, it has dropped from 950,
over 1 billion. You said,
yeah, just
right?
under 1 billion, down to about 600,000 people. Clearly not just because of our work, but a lot of people have been inspired and more is being done. I mean, that's a big change in 12 years. And so if we live long enough, we could potentially see the end of the lack of clean water. But, people say, I'm going to get rid of, AIDS in the world. Some people say, there's an organization we live in a rural area, and it's not a very wealthy area at all. But there's an organization here, I'm going to give them a plug, called ECHO, that we love to support.
It's Elbert County Coalition, if you're in the area.
Yes.
It's in Kiowa,
Yeah,
Elbert
they're
County.
Incredible work. And they have a resale store that we love to give stuff to. I buy a lot. Most of them I have books secondhand there, my reading books. But out of the proceeds that they help people when they can't.
They're doing incredible work.
They can't pay for their utilities or can't get groceries.
Or a woman is in a volatile situation and needs to get out and needs transportation, or so we contribute both financially as well as, if we have stuff or whatever.
And it didn't have to look far. It's right here in our backyard. So don't get overwhelmed because, I've got this worldwide vision. That's what it took for me. But it's also, we support organizations that work to save children out of sex trafficking, and other things, because we feel deeply about those and we want to be a part of the solution.
And so we can do things as individuals. And, I mentioned on the podcast maybe last time that I actually created a course to take business owners, or a coaching program basically, to take business owners and their teams to be able to kind of realign what they do around a common purpose that everybody in the organization can look at. We, in the Crankset organization that we work with, Chuck Blakeman, who's, written many books, talks about, and he's not the only one, but he talks about this idea that the mission is the boss, not the boss, right? And so when we begin to say, here's our mission, and we all play a part in accomplishing the mission, then everybody in the organization can rally around that in some way, knowing that they're a part of that. And there's something really exponentially incredible that happens for people intrinsically in terms of their own contribution and value. And then that's how we also see that we create more revenue and that we attract clients who care about those same things. So you might be somebody interested in being a part of a group or individual one-on-one coaching to align your business or your life that way. That's what I'm here for. That's part of why I'm doing this. I didn't do the podcast for that reason, by the way. It is something I do, so I'm going to mention it. I really wanted to do the podcast because I really want to spread this whole idea in the world, and to create a movement that people can catch on and be a part of all of this together.
Your team, or your company, your employees, your stakeholders, whatever, however you look at it,
Partners.
What they really desire, because it's part of what we all desire, is to be part of something significant. And it's not like we're going to get raises and bonuses and stock options. Yeah, those are niceties. But something to look forward to. We do what we do so that we can do X, and that's kind of the golden thread of their operating system. And people then start, rather than it's Monday, I gotta go to work. I get to go to be part of something, and it's maybe not even that overt, but people know. We're making a difference.
Yeah, and somebody on something, I don't know if it was a questionnaire or something I was part of, said, if you're not around when you're not around anymore someday, what do you want people to say about you? Like if they're standing in a room remembering who you are and, just reminiscing what I wanted to say. She didn't just talk about love well by doing good. She did it. Like that is what we saw her in her life. And that transcends the job I have or the company I run. It is hopefully in the marriage I have and the relationship I have and the family I have. And like it, I want that to be the thing that people like put that on my whatever, on my urn. You spread my, I don't really want a tombstone, but I want that to be my thing that people remember me for. And we all want to make a mark, I guess, while we're here. And so what do you want to be remembered for? And maybe it's Love Well by doing good in and fill in the blank, right? It's, you helped people get clean water. Somebody else helped feed the hungry. Somebody else helped women who were abused. There's so many different things, right? That we can be part of in people's lives. What do you want to be known for? And how can you rally the people that work with you or work for you, and even your own family and your community to do that? So Love Well by doing good. Anything else you want to say? Was this fun? Kind of fun?
No, it was very fun. Love talking about this because it's part of our life. It's a easy part of our life. It's not a big stretch, and it's influenced so much of what we do and the people we serve and work with. It's attractive. I have to. You can only talk about sports so much, or politics, or the weather, or horses, or motorcycling.
Oh no, you can always talk about horses. Yeah.
But
I can. Horse people can.
These stories run so much deeper.
Yeah.
Right.
So with every guest on the podcast, and you're not any different, even though I'm married to you, how can people get a hold of you? I mean, we had, our friend Liesl on talking about how people could get a hold of her for the service she provides, in a significant way for mental health practices. And so we want people to be able to help us provide clean water through the business industry of real estate. So, and want to work with you because they want to be a part of that too. So how do people get a hold of you? What's the best way? What's your email? What's your phone number? And we'll put this in the notes too. But how do you want them to find you and talk to you more about this?
Love to talk with you, regardless of whether you're in the Denver metro area or somewhere else in the world, at least in the United States, because we have a huge referral network. Then we can put you in touch with somebody else who will serve you well.
Or maybe they just want to talk about this topic with you.
Well, like I said, it's a hard topic to run out of space and time to talk about. We call it the Corrigan Group, and it's Tom, Thom.
So we always know when it's somebody who knows him because they'll call him, is Thom there? And obviously so it's Tom.
So it's Tom, Thom at the Corrigan Group, CORRIGAN Group. .com, thank you. And you can...
how can they call you?
720-515-3151.
Say it again.
720-515-3151.
In his radio voice. And you have a website. What's the best website for them to read?
It's At Home Denver. At Home Denver. You can't miss spelling it.
.com.
.com. Thank you very much.
So thanks for being on the podcast.
Loved it.
Love you.
Love you.
Love what you're doing.
Love how you're impacting the world.
Love doing it with you. So till next time, love well by doing good. What are you going to do today and in the next days to come to love well by doing good? I'd like to know. So let me know. See you next time.